fucking warm, isn't it? It's getting to that point of year where living in the top floor of a flat is not comfortable in the slightest. So, a decade has passed since the virus was unleashed, and the intellectually advanced apes have established a colony in which the sightings of humans has dwindled exponentially. This is my uneducated opinion on the movie Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Well, it turns out that some humans are now immune, so they haven't gone extinct just yet. The conflict between many of the groups within this movie is incredibly well done. You can see the points of view coming from each one of them, from Caesar helping the humans because of the trust he's had in previous encounters, to the son Blue Eyes and not trusting them to begin with and allowing Koba's influence on him by being really naive. Ultimately, there's an abundance of similarities between the apes and the humans. Both sets have those who work on caution and trust, and others work on caution and fear, and the fear being their downfall in the end. You know, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering, as the good old Yoda would say. And because of the fears within the humans and the apes, it is incredible seeing Caesar come to accept fully the trust within the family of humans, knowing that he was right about some of them and set on bringing to justice those that have failed him throughout. Andy Serkis is obviously still putting on a hell of a performance as Caesar. He gives off this incredible aura about him whenever he is on screen, from his body language especially. There's so many instances when he comes into shot and he is given this really dominant pose. It is incredibly intimidating to everyone, including me. I love how Caesar immediately recognizes the situation that he and all of the apes are in come the end of the movie. Yes, it was down to Koba's actions, but he knows that there is no going back, and he accepts the war has begun and he needs to prepare for the coming conflict, showing how great a leader he has become. In regards to the other human characters, they are all incredibly well done and a massive improvement from the first movie. Gary Oldman is incredible, like with most other things he is in. Motives that makes absolute sense. Being focused on the survival of the human race, he perfectly embodies the fear and desperation that they all have. And even when he learns that the apes have advanced intelligence, there is multiple times within the movie where he just keeps referring them to as animals, failing to acknowledge that they are capable of so much more. Jason Clarke plays the main human, Malcolm, who in a very risky process gains the trust of Caesar, so they are allowed to access a dam which is a source of hydroelectricity. Malcolm, like the rest of the family, the cast including Kerry Russell and Cody Smith McPhee, goes through a really touching process of bonding with the other apes. One of my favourites are including the son and Maurice as they interact over books together. After watching this movie, I really feel as though Koba is right up there with some of the greatest villains. Toby Kebbell brings that character to life so well. He is incredibly charming, vicious, and so broken emotionally. The scene where he acknowledges the scars he received through the experiments by the humans shows he is not capable in any way of accepting their word. Proves that he is right, as there are many occasions where the humans do break their promises with acquiring guns, coming back to their home when they have been ordered not to do so. Also, Koba's deceitful ways in which he fucks around with those two weapon testers is really amusing to watch, but also has those really dark undertones about what he is capable of doing next.
Don't you move!
Should we shoot him?
Maybe.
Oh,
Hey,
whoa, whoa.
hey.
Oh, you want a drink?
All right.
Easy.
Easy.
All right.
It is fascinating to see his rise to power, gaining followers when his beliefs are shown to be true, and having a complete disregard to ape lives as well as humans by throwing them off of horseback when he wants to get into battle, and then shooting at them when his leadership is challenged. Matt Reeves is the director, and he had previously worked on Cloverfield and goes on to make the sequel to this movie and The Batman. He makes it look so gorgeous. It is very easy for me to get engrossed in the movie as there are so many stunning moments. The scene with the fire going across the entire colony after Caesar's betrayal, the apes on horseback coming out of the fog firing guns, Koba riding through the fire, the entirety of that one shot with Koba on the back of the tank, and even the ones following Malcolm going through the corridors trying to not be detected by the apes. I don't like using the words masterpiece or perfect when it comes to describing any sort of art form, whether it's movies or TV shows or video games, because I'm a true believer that there is nothing that can be considered perfect, but the CGI in this movie is as close to perfect as you can get. That is until the movie comes out in the future, which makes an absolute monkey of this one. I'm sure you've been in that position where you've played a video game or watched a movie and thought to yourself, this is the best looking thing to ever come out and it cannot possibly get better than this. Only to then come back on it a few years later and to see how dated it is. I'd like to think that this movie would be practically impossible to have that sort of treatment on it. A lot of this movie is set within the raining woodlands, and as if making CGI apes look real is hard enough, making CGI apes with believable wet fur or any animal in a raining climate has got to be one of the most difficult things to accomplish, and this movie nails it. I love the way that this movie opens with the pullback of Caesar's eyes and then ends the movie on closing in on them. It gives me that feeling, like I've mentioned in previous videos, on how far characters have progressed throughout the entirety of the movie. So the budget of this movie was $170 million, and at the worldwide box office, this movie grossed a total of $710 million. And compared to the other movies that came out that year, it was the 8th highest grossing movie, with Transformers Age of Extinction coming at top with $1.1 billion. Somehow. And just like with every other opinion video, let's give the trailer a watch, see if it's any good.
Apes! Do not want war!
That was a really good trailer. I love the way it looks, and it perfectly sets up the tension between the humans and the apes and what to expect. And I completely forgot that the music was done by Michael Giacchino. I can't believe how good it was. He's one of my favourite composers. And that's about it. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Comment down below constructive feedback on what I could do better for next time. What did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you think it is a little bit overrated? Share around with your friends and family if you think they'd enjoy this sort of content. Subscribe, ding the notification bell. I stream on twitch.tv/Rizikins. I play single player games. I also play on my girlfriend Jem and my good friend Rezi. We do co-op games together, obviously. And we'll hope to see you there. Thank you everybody again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Okay, now I'm just going to end up bawling my eyes out for the next couple hours because Klopp is leaving Liverpool. Alright, take care. See you next century.